Coming up on this edition of What Starts Here. We'll trace the lineage of a Texas treasure and see how UT's Longhorn Band settled a century-old debate.
Everything's bigger in Texas applies to pretty much how we live. So we had to get the biggest drum.
And we'll meet the master craftsman known as the secret weapon of UT's chemistry department.
Whenever I talk to chemists, they just think we are so lucky here at UT to have someone in-house that is so talented.
We'll hear from some rising musical stars reaching new heights with a student-run record label.
I get a lot of value and fulfillment from being able to just hear my own music that I created.
And finally, we'll see how UT's renowned aerospace program is crafting the new breed of space pioneers.
My goal is to live and work in space. I think there's huge potential for things to start here in the Launch Texas program and make it off the planet.
It's not a Longhorn game day at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium without the Texas Trifecta, a venerable holy trinity of UT icons that radiate Texas pride. The roar of Smokey the Cannon, the horns of Mighty Bevo,
Bevo's fired up!
and the show band of the Southwest, supersized calling card, Big Bertha.
Big Bertha is one of the most Texas things ever.
One of the most iconic instruments, I think, on the planet.
A really, really big drum.
Everything's bigger in Texas applies to pretty much how we live. So as the Longhorn Band for the flagship school of Texas, we had to get the biggest drum.
And in 1954, Texas found that biggest drum. It belonged to the University of Chicago, but was collecting dust in storage after the Maroons abandoned their football program during World War II. Longhorn Band director Moden Crockett drove up to the Windy City to bring the drum to Austin, but quickly learned of another interested party, Purdue.
Purdue had a giant drum that was built in 1921. There was a long-running debate about which is the biggest drum in the country. Purdue claims to have the largest.
But the Boilermakers wanted to end the debate once and for all.
The president of Conn Music Company said, well, Purdue wants this drum real bad and I don't want them to have it, so I can't give it to you, but I'll sell it to you. Okay, how much is this going to cost me? Mr. Greenleaf said $1.
Moten won out and got the drum, brought it back to Texas, and it's been on the field with the band ever since.
From Austin to Pasadena to London.
Let's get this show on the road!
Big Bertha's career has been well-traveled, but as she approached her 100th birthday in 2022, some signs of aging finally started to show. So the band reached out to Austin-based specialty drum manufacturer A&F Drum Company to assess the situation.
I'm having a beer with the band director. They're having some issues with Bertha. Would you want to come take a look, see if you can help? I said, sure. So I went and looked at the drum, and immediately it was like, okay, the drum's ovaling. That's not good.
The drum is, made of natural materials, wood. So over the years, it has gone out of round a little bit, and there have been repairs made to it.
We would have had to continue servicing it probably after every game.
The decision was made that the centennial anniversary of the drum is coming up. That would be a perfect time to introduce a new drum that can last another 100 years.
They said, hey, maybe it's time to make a new drum. If anybody can do it, A&F can. And I said, whoa, we haven't talked about this. I don't know if we can. The cool thing is, here we are in Austin, right? We're hand making our drums the way Bertha was made 100 years ago. I did a ton of research, figured out we could do it.
We're gonna build the biggest drum in the world, and it's for Texas. So it was an excitement and a fear of, we're going to make this happen, and we have to make it right.
A new drum also meant a new opportunity to settle a century-old score once and for all.
There's always been a back and forth between us and Purdue about which one is bigger. We always had the claim to the tallest, and they had the claim to the widest. They said, well, we can make you one that's taller and wider than both of them. And that was a go horns go right there.
I wanted it to be metal. I really wanted to tie in burnt orange, the Texas orange, but I first had to figure out how big can we make a drum. And it wasn't about what we could do with the metal, it was about the drum head. Only one company makes a drum head that big, and it's Remo. And what's the biggest head that they could make? 108. That's not big enough. Can you make it bigger? No. Let me talk to somebody else. And about 4 months in, all right, we'll try it. They agreed to make biggest bass drum head ever made, and they won't do it again. That's how I know it's the biggest drum.
The entire operation was kept under wraps for 4 years, with a deadline set to unveil the new drum during the 100th birthday celebration of the original Big Bertha at halftime of a home football game against Iowa State.
It had to happen, but we were like, is it gonna happen? That concern was alive and well every day until we got it. But when they rolled in here with that drum, we were like, okay, we're good.
When we first saw her in the band hall, they had her seated next to old Bertha, and just the size difference was remarkable.
Texas is back with the undisputed biggest drum in the world.
As new Bertha was rolling out to sit alongside original Bertha, there was this like roar of applause. That caught me, because I wasn't ready for that.
The first time I hit the new Big Bertha, it shook my entire body in a way that the old one never did.
I just felt like it was not real. It was something that I had thought about in my head thousands of times, but it was actually happening. So it was an amazing moment.
It was a fitting send-off for a Texas treasure. The original Big Bertha, enjoying a well-earned retirement, now resides in the Texas Athletics Hall of Fame.
It was tough to say goodbye to her.
It was, but I think we've honored her in the way that she'll be able to be enjoyed in the proper context in the Athletics Hall of Fame. So everybody who comes to the game, every game day, they can come by and visit.
We're filming a full documentary that tells the whole story of the original Bertha, the whole story of the new Bertha. It's a really, really big deal to be a part of moving that legacy forward.
It brings a lot of university pride. It's something that you get one time. This crew only gets to bring this drum onto the field and show it to the community. And I think that's something that I won't probably ever forget. I
would love for it to be with the Longhorn Band for another 100 years. And then, you know, maybe they'll have a Big Bertha 3. So no matter what else I do in life, I was the director of the Longhorn Band when we put Bertha in the Hall of Fame and put Bertha 2 on the field.
Ahead on What Starts Here, we'll visit a fiery lab and see how UT's resident glassblower creates his masterpieces.
You're working with machinery that's spinning hot glass around. This can be a dangerous job if you don't pay attention.
And later, we'll meet a team of students determined to become the next legends from the live music capital of the world. Deep in the heart of the 40 acres, Welch Hall is the epicenter of UT's chemistry department. But below the sterile laboratories and meticulously controlled experiments, a wall of roaring flames lights up the building's basement.
It's kind of crazy to see just open flames all the time, and especially as a chemist, it's like that's clearly the opposite of what we normally want to happen.
It's definitely intimidating when I see all the flames and glass glowing and fired up.
You're working with machinery that's spinning hot glass around. This can be a dangerous job if you don't pay attention.
The man in the middle of the inferno? Adam Kennedy, UT's resident master glassblower.
There is a certain calm when I have multiple fires going. There's nothing else I can focus on. What might look stressful to other people, I can find a place to sort of sit with it. You can make the most beautiful thing, but if you don't take care of it, it'll just crack at the end. It's just sort of trying to stay present and realize, all right, I've got to focus on this one job and nothing else.
Adam isn't just any glassblower. He's part of an exclusive guild of scientific glassblowers supplying UT professors across the spectrum of sciences with custom instruments crucial to their groundbreaking research.
Scientific glassblowing is just sort of trying to make research happen.
It's an art, heating up glass and shaping it to be perfect for the exact reaction or procedure that you want to accomplish.
It's been going on, with the first telescopes, with the alchemists, and now we've gotten some fancier tools and things like that, but we're still trying to do the same job of making research happen.
Adam's workshop is literally 2 floors down from me, so we just pop down the stairs and go talk to him.
People bring me different ideas, sometimes just like a napkin sketch or things like that, or an idea in their head. And from there, we have to figure out the physics of it, what will work, will this be strong enough? Attention to detail is critical.
It's a very highly skilled trade in order to make these things, and there's not many people that can do it. And we're very fortunate here to have that.
It started by accident. After I graduated from college, I moved to Pittsburgh, and I just started taking art glass classes because I lived right by the Pittsburgh Glass Center. So there I was exposed to this whole idea of glass as a profession, and then was lucky enough to connect with the former glassblower here, Mike Ronalter, and I worked under him for 4 years. He retired, and then I took over. I find it really cool to have this sort of niche job because glassblowing is an art form. There's definitely a lot of creativity that comes into play. There's certain processes that still just fascinate me every time I do them. So there's a lot of that cool factor.
For Adam, nothing is routine except pristine glass and the flames he uses to shape it. And if you think it's all just test tubes and beakers, think again.
Every day is different. I'm kind of making all sorts of weird stuff, interacting with people from all over the world, getting to kind of be on the edge of all these different discoveries. And that's what I enjoy about the job. The research keeps changing. So the stuff that I probably started doing here is probably going to be different than the stuff I do, 10 years from now.
Thanks to Adam's expertise, the centuries-old art form of glassblowing is thriving beyond the 40 acres, turning up in premier laboratories and studies around the world.
A lot of the outside requests I get are from places that don't have access to a glassblower. It's a shrinking community. A lot of research places are kind of eliminating the glassblower position due to budget cuts. So I find it very satisfying that I'm getting to do things across the country and world. It's just all about keeping the craft alive.
Adam helps our department run, helps a lot of the science run in this university. Whenever I talk to chemists and other departments that don't have glassblowers, they just think we are so lucky here at UT to have someone in-house that is so talented.
I want people to feel comfortable coming down here, asking for things, because if people are comfortable to come down and ask for things, I'm more able to help them achieve the results they want to. I'm here, so, you know, put me to use.
Coming up, we'll go into the studio with a behind-the-scenes look at UT's student-run record label, UTalent Records.
I want to start releasing music and hopefully at some point, you know, release an EP. It's some big goal of mine to like actually do it right.
And finally, how a Longhorn astronaut is continuing the legacy of UT's legendary aerospace program.
Stephanie Wilson is an amazing role model for our students.
I have UT to thank for helping me to ultimately fulfill my dream of flying in space.
From Austin city limits to South by Southwest, Austin's vibrant music scene is the stuff of legend. The city that claims musical icons like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Janis Joplin, and Willie Nelson continues to give voice to talented new artists every year. Including from the 40 Acres, where one student-led coalition is clearing the pathway from Longhorn to Rockstar, UTalent Records.
UTalent Records is a student-run record label at UT Austin.
It's a little community on campus where there are fellow students who want to be involved in the music industry.
They have a bunch of people audition and they sign 5 artists a year.
The goal is to help out these artists that they sign in any way they can.
UTalent Records is just for people who love music. We have people who are studying like neuroscience or advertising or marketing, but they're all brought together by their love for music and desire to learn more about the industries.
In just 5 years since its inception, UTalent Records has already helped launch the careers of several fast-rising artists on the Austin scene and beyond. Paxton Smith hopes to be the next.
My name is Paxton Smith. I am a signed artist at UTalent, and I focus on making alternative pop music. All right, this is the vocal take for Inside Out. You read the signals as mixed, but I'm never not real about this. The me, see, I don't think she would wanna wear out this. I'm tired and out of vision. Every young artist runs into the fact that it's hard to get somebody to produce their music. It's hard to find somebody to mix the music, master the music. Inside out. It's difficult for people to take you seriously, which just means that it's difficult to make things happen for the first time.
UTalent helps alleviate those challenges, allowing artists like Eddie Angel to focus on the music.
When I was really little, my dad was in a rockabilly band, so music has just always been a part of my life. When I started getting into college, I was like, all right, I'm studying music. I want to take this seriously. I want to start releasing music and hopefully at some point, you know, release an EP. It's some big goal of mine to like actually do it right.
But doing it right requires help, which is where UTalent embodies the collaborative spirit of Austin's music scene.
I knew that there was a lot of music in Austin and I wanted to get involved, but I didn't really know how. Like, I didn't really know where to start. And I think having UTalent definitely was a bit of a stepping stone to like get me there. I went to the first meeting and they were talking about the different positions and I was like, oh, you know, like, I think I could probably be a manager.
Sophia heard my stuff and she was like, I really want to work with you. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down. Like, I've never had a manager. I don't know what this is.
When I first got paired with Angel, like, I was a little nervous because I was like, oh my God, like, he's so good and I have no experience. I'm like, what am I gonna do to help him? But what I've realized is it's just all teamwork. I see him probably almost every day now and we're constantly texting.
I think because we both are just ambitious that like, We connect because we both are just trying to figure it out together. We're just a dream team, you know?
For artists, UTalent is a great chance for them to work with a team of people who are more knowledgeable in that music business side of things so that they can really focus on their artistry.
We're all in UTalent because we love music.
I just know I have to be involved in it. Like, it's just totally my passion.
Everybody's able to like really just lift each other up. I don't have to do this as much as alone anymore, you know? I was trying to figure it out all by myself, but it's nice to have some support, you know? You never know what could happen. Like, you never know if your song's gonna be the next viral hit. It's all part of the journey.
I get a lot of value and fulfillment from being able to just hear my own music that I created. And I think that feeling alone that I get doing that makes it worth it.
Coming up, how UT is adapting to the new frontier of space research and exploration.
With Launch Texas, we are trying to establish Austin as the Silicon Valley for the space economy.
It's cheaper to get there. It's cheaper to work there. Space is far more enriched than it ever has been.
From the earliest days of NASA, few universities boast as many pioneers as UT's Aerospace Engineering program. The tradition that began a half-century ago with Alan Bean, the fourth man on the moon, continues today with Stephanie Wilson, a Longhorn breaking new ground as one of 18 astronauts assigned to NASA's highly anticipated Artemis program.
Stephanie Wilson is an amazing role model for our students.
She is a graduate of our program. She is an astronaut who works in Houston.
I remember the professors in the aerospace engineering department all being very interested in their students' success.
She is making sure that our students are aware that there are individuals with her background that have gone out there and have excelled in this environment.
I have UT to thank for helping me to ultimately fulfill my dream of flying in space.
Wilson is a pioneer in the revolutionary collaboration between NASA and a thriving modern commercial sector of space technology.
The move into commercial aerospace has been happening for several decades now. And because of these companies, they are also driving a new economic market.
In addition to NASA and other government agencies, we have a lot of startup companies. So that's the new space race. There are more people that are cognizant of the fact that space can be commercialized.
It's cheaper to get there. It's cheaper to work there. Space is far more enriched than it ever has been.
The expansion of the space industry has also sparked an evolution in UT's aerospace engineering program.
As you look around Austin and you're seeing the kinds of industries that are moving and companies moving here, with Launch Texas, we are trying to establish Austin as the Silicon Valley for the space economy.
We have SpaceX, Blue Origin, Lockheed, NASA down at Johnson Space Center. So there's a lot of aerospace economy here in Texas, and it's booming right now.
Launch Texas is our department adjusting to the change that we're seeing in the space industry. They would need to be able to get a visual lock on it at a certain distance away, and they're worried about being able to do that using the optical information.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. How could we as UT help to develop the workforce that would eventually go out and create these startups, work for these startups, and also start to inject that entrepreneurial spirit here into our department?
Part of Launch Texas is we're trying to create this Renaissance type of engineer, right? Multidimensional. We provide them with mentorship as well as showing them the mechanics of starting a company.
So actually taking an idea that you've developed at, say, a university laboratory and commercializing it, actually turning it into a product.
Launch Texas is just the latest chapter in a decades-long effort to position UT Austin as a pipeline to the bleeding edge of space technology.
I can't name a single company right now that does not have a Longhorn within the aerospace industry.
My goal is to live and work in space and to be part of this new space economy, and I would like to one day start a space tech company. I think there's huge potential for things to start here in the Launch Texas program and make it off the planet with the astronauts like Stephanie Wilson.
We're in this game to create new leaders in the space economy and those that can generate companies that create jobs locally in this community and then become role models for the next generation of students.
Within this century and within the coming years, we are going to see more Longhorns in space. So just be on the lookout for that.
Thanks for watching this edition of What Starts Here.